He was chancellor of LSU Health Center in New Orleans for 16 years, making more than $1 million a year. But Dr. Larry Hollier stepped down in the fall after auditors questioned his hiring and spending practices. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Devin Bartolotta. Eyewitness investigator David Hammer and our partners at the Times-Picayune have found more about Hollier's spending. This time on luxury travel, alcohol, and big-ticket meals, and all charged to a local charity.
As chancellor of LSU Health Sciences Center in New Orleans, Dr. Larry Hollier oversaw the state university's medical, nursing, dental, and public health schools and the associated clinics for 16 years. And for that, Hollier earned more than $1 million from a taxpayer-funded salary, housing and car allowances, and additional compensation for his work as a surgeon. It made him one of the highest-paid LSU officials, but it didn't cover all his perks. Public records show Hollier also got reimbursed for travel and other expenses by the LSU Health Foundation, a public charity that raises money to support LSU Health operations in New Orleans. Like this $3,200 airfare for first-class tickets to Los Angeles for him and his wife, and this $675 a night resort hotel in Palm Beach, Florida, and $231 for an evening of top-flight liquor and wine in Minnesota. Even $436 for Hollier to give 3 couples wedding gifts, each delivered with the message, "Best wishes from Dr. and Mrs. Larry Hollier." We asked Hollier if it was justified to have costs like that covered by the LSU Health Foundation.
I think they were all justified. They were all reviewed by the foundation board and the finance committee.
But the chairman of the foundation board, Dr. Warren Gottsagen, told us the foundation's finance committee does not review the chancellor's expenses. So we went back to Hollier.
It may not have been by the finance committee. I don't know who the details are in their management of who reviews all that. I just turned it in.
In fact, public records show that most of Hollier's expenses were approved based on just one signature, Dr. Hollier's. Check requests like this one included lines for a foundation officer to sign off, but they were usually left blank.
But it was understood that for the chancellor and his wife, because we were working as a team to recruit people, to recruit doctors and so forth, and meet with the different hospital executives.
Hollier took his wife along on trips and charged them to the foundation at least 9 times since 2018. 3 times they both flew first class. One trip to New York cost over $4,000 and included 3 extra nights for the couple at a $600 a night hotel and luxury car service. And Hollier also got reimbursed for big expenses right here in New Orleans. Foundation President Matt Altier confirmed that the Holliers attended a 50th reunion party here in 2019 at the Windsor Court Hotel, and when the party went late, they decided to stay the night. Altier said the foundation agreed to cover the cost, $522.
I don't remember ever staying at the Windsor Court. I live in New Orleans. There was no reason that I recall I would stay there.
Hollier also charged almost $2,000 for 2 separate dinners here at Commander's Palace in a span of 3 months. First, it was a $970 dinner in October 2018. There's no itemized bill, but a note on his credit card receipt says it was with Dr. and Mrs. Victor Bernhard, a 91-year-old surgeon from Florida who'd been retired for over a decade.
If it was a visiting professor, another academic individual who came into town, we would entertain them. Again, I don't know what the details were, what the costs were.
Then there's $929 for another dinner at Commander's in January 2019. This one had an itemized receipt that included cocktails, wine, and a note of a stem cell discussion.
I vaguely remember that we had a discussion with a group who had a stem cell laboratory in Europe, and they had come to town and we entertained them.
Money that's spent by the foundation on your behalf has to go toward their mission, right? And so my question is, how does that go toward their mission?
Because their mission is my mission, and that was trying to build the reputation and the personnel of LSU Health Sciences Center.
We went to a legal expert on charities to get his take on Hollier's spending.
It really just doesn't pass the smell test.
Pace University law professor James Fishman literally wrote the book on how nonprofits can and can't spend money.
This is a charity, and one has to wonder what the donors to this foundation think.
And he says the lack of signatures on Hollier's check request forms is especially troubling.
Even if you are the chancellor, you should be getting approval from an official who's responsible for the fiscal wealth of the organization.
A scathing internal audit last fall identified several financial issues at LSU Health Center. Right after it came out, Hollier stepped down as chancellor. He returned to the medical school faculty and went on a 6-month sabbatical, but public records show his monthly pay stayed the same through the first half of this year, and he will still make more than $750,000 in 2022. David Hammer, Eyewitness News.
One of the wedding gifts Hollier charged to the foundation went to the son of Dr. Steve Nelson, who has taken over as LSU Health's chancellor. LSU Health spokeswoman Leslie Capo said Nelson would not use the foundation account for the types of purchases Hollier made, and she said Nelson was unaware Hollier had used the foundation money to buy his son's wedding gift.
Well, it's